guys, and welcome to another of my coding videos. Yes, today we're going to be learning Python. We're going to be learning Python, and today we're going to be learning mean, which is mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and coffee sleep. Correlation. Yes. Now you might not know all of these terms. Mean is simple. I have already demonstrated an example here. 3 observations, 63, 67, and 71. They are sum divided by the number of observations. It can be for any number of observations. So if I have, let's say for an instance, in this example, 25,000 observations, add all, I'm not doing that. All of them you add up, divided by 25,000, and that is going to be a mean. Yeah. Now let's just go with the code. We import CSV. Now what is CSV? Comma separated values. As you can see, everything is comma separated, and you can't even afford to add a space. Entire thing will change that way. My code won't work. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. Comma separated values. If you import CSV, you open this as F. Now I'll explain the. You open, this is a CSV opener because you have imported CSV. You open the name of the CSV file and you add a new line because it doesn't recognize the enter that you press. You press enter here, it doesn't recognize that. We have got to say a new line as an empty string so that it will recognize that, oh yes, I have actually pressed enter. So if you import height weight CSV and a new line this way as F, as a regular variable F, it could be G, it could be X, it could be donkey, it could be anything. Yeah. So reader will be, you have made a now variable. As the previous video I told, we don't need to write var. So reader will be csv.reader F. So CSV is one function of reading the file, and file data will be the list of everything that the reader reads. Yeah. So I hope you got this much. And make sure to like, subscribe. I'm saying it very early in the video, but you got to do that now. Don't wait for the end of the video, man. And also comment down your queries because I might do another video solving the queries of this one because this one is pretty challenging. So in code wise, topic wise it's very simple, but code wise it's going to be difficult. So file data, you pop or you push out. I have a balloon and it has 6 balloons. It has 6 balls in them, but the 6th ball is like an obstruction. It's like an irritating thing sticking out. What will you do? You will pop, and that way the one will go out. If you squeeze the balloon, the 6th one, the obtrusive one, will pop out. Same way, you pop out 0. As I told in the previous video, 0th index is essentially the first line. So this is the 0th index. You pop this out because you don't want this in consideration. You only want all the numeric values.
And if you know JS, any JS people over here, then it's the same thing. You must be knowing arrays, and over there, if you want to get the first value of the array, you have to say 0, not 1. You have to say 0.
Yes, exactly, Rocco. And new data is another list that we create, empty list. Now it's a for loop. This is a for loop. Yeah. For every I in the range of the length of the file data. I'll explain. So the length of file data is essentially finding out the length of this, which I'm not going to select, but all the way to 25,000, right? And the range of that length from where to where? From 1 to 25,000, which is the range. We create a variable called n_num, and that will open file data's ith index 1. I'll explain. So 1 is essentially this, right? Because this is 0. The index number which is there is essentially the 0th index column. And this is the first index column. So for every I, that's every row, it will push out from the file data every row's first one. Essentially, we are talking about the mean of the height.
Yeah.
That's what we are talking about, the mean of the height. And in your new data, you append the float of n_num. Now, in new data.append, what does append mean? Append means you're adding something. You're adding something. So especially in lists. So new data is a list, right? You append your
So append basically
n_num.
means add, yeah.
you add. Now, why did I say float? Because n num here is a string value, not an integer. That's why we create it into a float. And that's another thing, because it's a decimal value, you've got to say float. So you append it into a float value. You make n num into a float value and you append it into new data. Now there is this another n. N will be the length of new data. Essentially, it's going to take the length of all the heights. And there's going to be a total that's going to be 0. So for every x in new data, total equals total plus x. They're essentially talking about adding. This is just adding all the observations you find, right?
Yeah.
All the heights.
All the heights, yes.
And the mean will be total divided by 25,000. In this case, 25,000, but the entire length.
Yeah.
And now you print the mean of all the heights of 25,000 students is the string version of mean inches.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So I will go and activate it, py mean.py. So the mean of all these 25,000 students is 67 inches, approximately 68 inches. Okay, well, this was mean, and I'm realizing I might have to make it 2 parts, but don't worry about that. Median, we have all the way till here, which is exactly the same. Open it and read it, pop 0, make a new data for I, create a new data append. Yes, but this time we are talking about this. We are talking about the height only. Sorry, the median of all the heights. Now the median, what is the median? I'll explain you. So if I were to clear this out, if I have 54, 67, 32, 34 and 99. Out of this, the median is the physical middle.
Yeah.
The physical middle. Because it has, now this 32 is the mean, is the median, not the mean. 32 is the median because it has exactly 2 above and 2 below observations. It has 2 observations above and 2 observations below. That is the median. Now how to find the median here? So we already covered till the length of new data. Now we will sort new data. Now sort is a function where it automatically sorts it in ascending or in ascending order.
Yeah, sort is basically the word. That's what it's doing. What the word says, that's what it's doing.
So now if n, that's the length, modulus 2, that is if n divided by 2's remainder is 0. That means, it essentially means that your n which is there, if that is an even number, if the number of observations is even, we'll have to find 2 observations. So how it works is, now if I were to add another value, let's say 76. Now how will we find the median? Because there are 2 middles. All you got to do is find these 2 means. So the median here will be 33 because 32 plus 34 is 66 divided by 2 is 33.
Or you can just find the difference between it and the exact middle part.
Yeah, exactly. That is what if it is even, if the number of observations is even. Now they are 25,000 observations, so this one will be following this, but who knows, somebody were to accidentally minus or remove one entire line. So we find this median one, which is n divide by 2. Essentially it will find the middle. This is like finding the middle of all of them.
Yeah.
And median 2 will be finding the middle minus 1. So essentially how we talk about it is, in proper terms how we talk about it is, the median, if n is even, and we know what n is, so n plus 1 of the observation divided by 2. That is what I hope you're understanding. So n plus 1 observation, not the value of n. Like if it's the 6th number, not that. If the 6th number is 36, then that 36 plus whatever divided by 2.
Not the index.
Not the index.
The index
exactly.
is value.
The index is value. Exactly. That there's the 2 medians, and the median will be their average. Else, if it is odd, the same way we found it, just find the middle of them and print it. So the median of this data is the string value of median. So let's quickly show that too. And the median of this data is 67.9957.
That's like almost close to our
68. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'll cover more in this, and we'll have to go to the next ones. We have got to go to the next ones, the next standard deviation and coffee sleep, correlation, in the next video.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, same thing. This time, we have the same thing till here, okay? Exactly the same thing till here except for this one pesky line. Now what is this, you ask? There's a collections. These are all packages, predefined Python packages. Now from this predefined package called collections, there is one called counter.
Yeah, counter.
Yeah. Now counter will help you counter data as it is. Simple.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like how the name indicates. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we still find the NV. In all of this, we need the length of the new data. In all of this, we need the length of the new data.
Yes. Yes.
So data will be the counter of the new data. That is essentially the number of data there.
Yes.
And get mode will be a dict of data. Now what is dict? Dictionary. It will actually consult the entire data to find the mode. And we are just keeping that essential because it doesn't know what mode is.
Why don't you explain mode?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. I have these many observations. Now, out of this, many observations, out of these many observations, the observation that occurs the most, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 7 and 1, 2, 3 of 9. So, obviously 7 is the thing that 7 is the frequency number, the observation that occurs the most, right? This is the observation that occurs the most. So, that becomes the mode.
Yes, that is the mode. Yeah.
That is the mode. Exactly.
It's simple. All these three concepts are
Easy.
Yeah, easy. It's extremely
So now we find two modes because of the fact that this is 25,000 observations you're talking about.
correct.
Still, now you find for every A and B in the items of get mode. I'll explain. I have to first say the entire thing, then I'll explain. A will be the float of A. And if A is between 60 and 70, V inside that, if V is the max of the data values, then mode 1 will append A. Else if is written as elif, A is between 70 and 80, and if V is the max of the data values, then you will append A in mode 2. I will explain. Mode for so many values has to be taken in 2 steps. Otherwise, I could have said between 60 and 80, but it would take at least a minute or two to actually come out. So now I'm saying for A will be the float of A because that A can be anything and all of those are strings.
Yes.
You make them into decimal numbers. Now if that A lies between 60 and 70 and inside and if V or the number of times A occurs or the number of times that A occurs. Yes, if number of times the A occurs is the maximum number of times than any other occurs. Like how explained here. In this case, 7 is A and 5 because it occurs 5 times is V. I hope you understand that. So that then you will append A in mode 1. Else if 70 is less than A is less than 80 or A is between 70 and 80, mode 2 you'll append A into mode 2. This was a little complicated for me to understand too, but again, shoot your questions in the comment, guys. Now finally,
It's on them in the next video. It's part of this.
Yeah. And if length of mode 1 is greater than length of mode 2, we'll have to print the mode is, we'll have to join map string and mode 1 in the sense. Map is actually trying to find it, searching for your mode 1. And after it searches for it, we join the string value of it to mode 1. And else we put the string value of mode 2. Yeah. So now if I were to run this, I make it py mode.py. It's going to take some time to calculate, obviously, because still it has to do 12,500 calculations, 12,500 searching and reading and mapping. It's going to take a little time.
So let's wait.
And because it's 25,000 data, obviously some of them would have repeated the exact same number of times. So these are the modes.
Yeah, the approximate is around 68 again.
Yeah, around 68. Now even in this you can see 67, 67, 67, 67. 67 is around 67, 68 is like the mode.
Yes.
So yeah, this was it for this video, and I hope you guys liked it. Thank you, Rockwood, for featuring in this video. Shoot down your comments and your questions. A part 2 of this will be coming out soon. Take care, everybody, and bye.
Bye.